This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me is head of Sky Sports Boxing, Adam Smith. Just seeing your guys work out ahead of a big show, November 20th, Wembley Arena. We're back at Wembley Arena. Excited, Adam?
Very excited. I mean, it's been a cracking start with Boxer and with Top Rank. We've had some really good shows already. I keep saying it's a long journey. You know, this is going to take time. There's a lot of young fighters. We're starting from scratch in many ways. Matchroom have gone to Dazn. They're taking all the fighters away, so therefore we have to go again. And I think we have. And I think in the last few weeks, Ben and I have worked really closely to build up a small selective stable. And we've still got our shopping bags out. But at the same time, I think what we've got already is a very good start in a very short space of time. And a great deal of that flourishing, blossoming talent you're going to see on November the 20th. I'm really hot on the Dazn brothers. I think there's people don't know much about them yet, but I think I've been talking a lot to Shane McGuigan and the team, and I just believe we might have one or two stars down in that stable coming through. Yeah, there's plenty to go with both Adam and Hassan, so looking forward to seeing them. But I think the most important thing for me on November the 20th is the debut of Caroline Dubois. Before the Olympics, I said to Ben I really wanted Caroline, and we managed to get that. So I'm really excited because she's young. We start with her, and I love that, Umar. You know, we did that with Ricky Hatton, we did that with Anthony Joshua, right at the beginning of their professional journeys. You know, to have them and try and have them all the way through, it's something different. You know, you try and build the story, you try and build the whole picture, and hope they become superstars. And Caroline's got so much ability and talent, and you know, female boxing is just in such a hugely great space at the moment. We saw Savannah Marshall shine in Newcastle a couple of weeks ago. We know what Katie Taylor's done for the sport, Terry Harper and so many others, and I think it's really important for us at Sky to have someone in Caroline who has that pedigree that we're going to get right behind. You know, we've seen Ebony Jones and George O'Connor turn over in the last few weeks as well. So yeah, it's never been better for women's boxing, but Caroline Dubois is a huge asset to us, and I really believe she can become a superstar, and I'm looking forward for our team to play a role in that development, to give her the exposure and the platform that she needs. Hopefully she does her bit in the ring, which I'm sure she will.
Before we discuss the rest of the card on November 20th, what's the feedback been like about the first two shows, so the first one at Wembley Arena and the Newcastle one?
We're always looking to improve, Umar. I think that's the most important thing. No show do we look at and think that was an amazing, incredible success. We thought both the shows were good. Obviously, we were dealt a hammer blow with Chris Eubank Jr. That fight being off sort of 24 hours beforehand at Wembley. But I think the show went on, and we got some really good action. I mentioned Ebony, and her professional debut was fun, wasn't it? And we had some Jermaine Brown was in a good fight. David Avanesian, really, really solid start. And you know, the first time we've worked with Boxer, the two teams have come together, so that was always going to be a work in progress, and it is very embryonic. But we got the biggest viewing figures that we've had in 3 years since Amir Khan fought Sammy Vargas, so that was really encouraging. And then Newcastle gave us the second highest viewing figures.
Did it really?
Since then, so we're very, very pleased that happened as well. Savannah Marshall shone. A star was born that night, if she isn't already, our world middleweight champion. I thought she was brilliant, and to do that at home in the northeast with a huge crowd and wonderful atmosphere, getting some of the local talent out like Big Steve Robinson, and you know, having Chris Eubank getting some momentum, getting back into the ring, which was important for him, and Hughie Fury as well. So yeah, you know, really good start. Obviously, don't forget Top Rank. You know, we had a fantastic performance last weekend from Shakur Stevenson. A star was born against Jamel Herring, and I think we all hoped that Shakur could put in a performance like that at some point, and he's done it. You know, two-weight world champion, and obviously one of the best fighters in the world, and that was great. So looking forward to having Jose Zepeda this weekend, and also next weekend Michaela Meyer and the tournament show. So it's pretty relentless, the schedule, which is great. You know, more content than ever before, fights from both sides of the Atlantic, and yeah, we're really excited. And you said November 20th, we've got Richard Riakpo, Florian Marku, Mikhail Lawal, Dan Aziz, you know, lots of really good prospects on, and some a little bit down the line as well, but all good talent. So Wembley should be fantastic in November, yeah.
Yeah, and then just wait a few hours, and then you've got a small matter of Terence Crawford and Sean Porter.
Wonderful fight, wonderful fight. Yeah, what a great night November the 20th is, because, you know, and also Sky Sports. Not a box office night, it's a Sky Sports night. And I think Crawford and Porter is, one of the great fights of the year or recent years. Everyone's excited about that, and we've got Wembley and then over to America. So fantastic for the customers, for the fans, and we sit boxing in obviously in the midst at Sky with the Premier League, which is so exciting at the moment, and huge viewing figures again from the weekend, and Formula One is just going through a terrific spell too. There's the cricket, there's the golf, there's the darts coming up with the Grand Slam and Ali Pali for the world. So much is happening on Sky Sports in the next 8 to 10 weeks. It's great that boxing is a serious part of it as well, so fantastic sort of package for people to have. And but for me it's about building stars, and I've got one or two to keep an eye on November the 20th as they begin their Sky journey, and hopefully we can help them on their way.
You talk about this stellar Sky package that we've got until Christmas, a great run-up. Do you think Chris Eubank Jr. v Liam Williams can be part of that package?
I hope so. I really hope so. I've made it very clear to Kalle and Nisse look after Chris, the Westman are the promoters, and Ben obviously is the co-promotional deal with him, and at Boxer, and Ben's got to make that happen. I've exactly what I've said. I want Eubank against Liam Williams. I think that's the best fight for Chris. Next out, I think it's a great fight for Liam. Terrific fighter himself, and I think that's it's a match that really has to be made. So hopefully we can get it this side of Christmas. You never know in boxing, it's so unpredictable, isn't it? We didn't know that Dillon White wouldn't be fighting this weekend. We didn't know that Josh Taylor wouldn't be fighting on December the 18th, and unfortunately, two bits of bad news for the sport last week, but these things happen. The show goes on for us, for Dazn, for BT and Frank, and there's lots to look forward to. So lots of competition, great for fans and great for fighters. That's the most important thing.
Is Junior and Williams a pay-per-view fight in your opinion, Adam?
I hope that it's a Sky Sports fight, Eubank against Liam Williams. I think it's the right fight for a Sky Sports audience, and also an audience that we inherited from the football. So I'd like to get the casual football fans sort of tuning into it. I think it's the way that we've built box office sort of stars in the past. You take Carl Froch as a prime example. Carl Froch was on Sky Sports for many years, fighting sort of Commonwealth level, that sort of thing. He went off for a while. He had some big fights around the world, and he came back and he said, right, I want to become a pay-per-view fighter on Sky now. And I said, Carl, all due respect, but the casual audience don't know who you are. He said, everyone knows who I am. I said, Carl, they know who you are in the boxing, because in the trade you're the number one fighter. You've gone and you've beaten the likes of Kessler, and you've gone all around the world, and Arthur Abraham, I think, after that fight. But we took him back on Sky, and we had him on Sky Sports for 3 or 4 fights, including the Bute fight. And I believe that is a way of obviously building the audience. So I think that's really important. We've just got Chris Eubank back. I'd like to see Chris Eubank against Liam Williams, and if it's before Christmas, which hopefully it will be a Sky Sports event.
It'll be a Christmas cracker, that one, for sure.
I hope so, and that's what we want to try and deliver. As you know, to make some of these big fights, it does take a lot of money. So sometimes we have to go down the box office route, but I'm really hoping for that one we don't, that it's on Sky Sports, and Josh Taylor was going to be on Sky Sports, and so many others, Crawford, Porter on Sky Sports, and I think it's inevitable that we will do Sky Sports box office events next year. Hopefully the Anthony Joshua rematch and others, but for now it's good to give the Sky Sports customers plenty to look forward to till Christmas, and for me there's no plan to have a box office event before Christmas.
Can I ask you about that, please, in terms of Anthony Joshua, Adam? You're always open and give as much as you can in regards to his contractual situation.
I try.
I know he's been in America, so have talks still been going on with Joshua about renewing that deal?
Absolutely. I was swapping messages with Freddie Cunningham just a couple of days ago. So AJ's been on his travels, coming to terms with the defeat, and obviously thinking about how he goes again for the rematch. And we've given him some time, and that's the right thing to do. And we're still talking to Freddie, and we're going to all sit down together, and I'm very confident that we can work something out. We started with Anthony Joshua. I've said it time and time again, we want to finish with Anthony Joshua, and I don't see any reason why he will want to move away from the Sky platform, and there's certainly no reason why we would want him to go. So he's been incredible for us. I hope we've been incredible for him. Eddie and Matcham have done a great job with AJ, and we have at Sky as well. So very much looking forward to working with Anthony going forwards, and hopefully we can get something sorted. But of course we are officially out of contract, so there are negotiations and discussions still ahead.
Okay, and what's your thoughts on him at the moment? Well, he's come back now, but for a few weeks being in America, going to several different gyms, suggestions that he might leave Rob McCracken. Again, nothing official about that, but your take on the whole situation?
Well, the first thing is that Rob McCracken is a proven, incredible trainer, and he needs. I mean, the plaudits you can give Rob McCracken through his career. I mean, I had the privilege of commentating on him as a fighter. He was a terrifically stubborn and very good fighter, and should have become a world champion. And I think he's been a brilliant trainer, not just for Carl Froch and Anthony Joshua, but for the whole of Team GB and the cycles they've had and the medal haul they've just had. So Rob McCracken's been the godfather up there in Sheffield, and he's been incredibly instrumental in Anthony Joshua's career. Anthony's a very loyal guy, so he may want to stay with him throughout his career. He may want to change. What he has done is he's brought in the likes of Angel Fernandez and Joby Clayton. After the Ruiz defeat, maybe he'll want to do something similar. Maybe he'll want just to get some ideas from other trainers. Maybe he'll want a clean break. That's up to Anthony, and I'm sure Anthony and Rob will sort that out between them. And he's obviously been over with the likes of Ronnie Shields, I think, and Virgil Hunter and one or two others. So, maybe that's just to get. I remember Scott Quigg doing that when he went over to the wild card, just to get some sparring and some experience and some words in the ear from other trainers. And maybe that's what AJ needs, or maybe he needs a new beginning on the training department. That's not for me to comment. That's up for his inner team. I'm sure they'll work it out. Rob McCracken's been unbelievable for him and can continue to be so. And they lost a fight. These things happen, but it's up to AJ what he wants to do. So that's a question for him.
Yeah. Carrying on with the heavyweight division, of course, this Saturday we expected Dillon White against Otto Wallin.
Yeah, shame, isn't it?
No longer the case.
Shame. Really looking forward to that fight. I think it was a good fight. I know Otto Wallin and Dimitri Slita and the team were very confident, and Dillon doesn't duck anybody, does he? I mean, when we had him on Sky, he was absolutely fantastic for years. Just wouldn't. There was not a big name. I mean, he couldn't get him a world title shot, but which was sort of ridiculous if you think about how long he was mandatory for. But ultimately he fought everybody, didn't he? Whether it was Derek or Joe Parker or Oscar Rivas or whoever it was. You put him in front of him, Povetkin a couple of times, even with the defeat, straight back in the fire. Yeah, you got to love Dillon White, and shame that fight's not happening, but shoulder injury, and let's see what happens, and let's see if he goes straight into the Fury fight or what may happen with Dillon. But we all obviously wish him well from Sky. He's been brilliant to work with over the years.
Do you think that will be the case, that the WBC will order that fight?
Well, you sort of hope so, don't you? You hope that Dillon has been waiting a long, long time, and I think with Tyson Fury has cemented his place as the number one, and he's got this mandatory, and it'll be a massive fight in Britain, and maybe he could do it at Old Trafford or something. I know Tyson's always wanted to fight there, so I think so. I think it's the right fight to do now. I think it's a bit unfair on Otto Wallin, and he'd obviously want to have that chance to take on Fury again. But if that's the way boxing works, and I'm not involved in the contractual side of it. It's a DAZN and it's an Eddie thing, and we'll see what happens. But I think that it's a shame the fight's not happening this weekend on Halloween weekend. Although I know they've got a good card, and I know Jordan Thompson, who I know very well, is back, and I'm really pleased that he's back, and I wish him well. But it's what happens in boxing, and there's different ways things can turn out. So I think no one would begrudge Dillon a shot at Tyson Fury now, would they?
I do want to ask you about Dazn. We haven't spoke since their email went out asking fans about the potential of a pay-per-view functionality on their system, on their broadcast. And they gave the example of Andy Ruiz v Dillon White, I think at a price point of $29.99. What do you think, just as a customer of DAZN, as a fan of boxing, there now perhaps openness or more openness to introducing a pay-per-view model?
Well, firstly, as a customer of DAZN and a fan of boxing, I watch everything. But obviously, the price points are difficult, and it's been difficult for us at Sky Sports Box Office for many years, because you want every fan to watch everything, but sometimes fights can't be made, and it becomes harder and harder with the money that's in the sport. And obviously, the more successful boxing gets, the more money that's sort of swimming around, and obviously that means it's difficult, and you want the fighters to make money and get the right rewards for it. So you can understand why there's BT Sport Box Office, there's DAZN now thinking about a pay-per-view arm, and who knows what's going to happen with DAZN and BT, and so there's lots of things things happening out there. For us, Umar, we concentrate on the Sky business. That's the most important thing. There's some very smart guys over at Dazn. I worked with Joe Markowski and his team for a long time. Very smart guys, and they'll do what's right for their business. And if they feel that it's the right time to move towards that, they will. If they don't, they won't. But for us, we wish them well as competitive rivals, and I watch all their stuff, as you know. I know quite a lot of, obviously, Tony Bellew works with them, and Mike Costello, who I'm a big fan of, Laura Woods, a lot of their talent, and I know a lot of people behind the scenes, and obviously, Eddie and Frank and I had a great relationship for many, many years. So, I always wish them well, and they carry on with what they're doing. I work for Sky, and the two other big rivals had broadcasts on. So, we watched it as fans, and that's that. So I just like to sort of stay on. I work for Sky Sports. I worked with Sky Sports for 27 years now. I absolutely love it. It's a new challenge for me working with Ben Shalom and Todd DeBerth, and it's a new challenge for the whole team, the great team behind us at Sky, and it's a chance for us to go and do something fresh and new and different. And we're not saying we're the home of boxing or anything like that. They've Matchroom took their entire stable away, so we lost all our fighters. We're starting again. It's a blank canvas. I think we've made a good, positive beginning, a good start. It's a long journey, and we watch with interest. We dance between the raindrops. We look at all the stuff that's going out there. We admire the competition, and we try to better ourselves and make sure that we're the platform that people want to come to the most. But it's not just boxing. It's full of football and cricket and golf and rugby and all the rest of it, and darts and NFL and and obviously all the entertainment and other stuff. So boxing's just a part of the Sky business and the Comcast media beast. So we just play our part. What's good is that the company are behind us. They're really backing us. I'm really excited about that. And we'll do what we can and the best for Sky and for our Sky customers. And but of course we wish the others well and bring the competition on. It's good for all of us. Keeps us on our toes, Umar.
Rumour mill going around that Paulie Malignaggi might be back on Sky Sports on comms with you. Can you say anything about that, Adam?
Listen, I worked with Paulie for many years. He's a very, very, very good broadcaster. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed working with him as a fighter, of course, way back. The days of Cotto and obviously Ricky and stuff. And always saw something in Paulie very early on that I thought. I did with the same with Gary Neville, actually. I worked with him football many years ago at Sky on Sports Centre, and I interviewed Gary, and I thought, I wonder if Gary will end up being a pundit. You don't get all of them right, but Gary ended up doing it, and I knew Paulie would be in boxing. He just had something about him, his mannerism, the way he's passionate about the sport, passionate about fighters. Always thought he'd be very good. So he's been great for us. And listen, we've got a great team at Sky. I work with Matt Macklin, work with Johnny Nelson, with Carl Froch at times, obviously Anna Presents, and we've got Vic Hope joining us for the tournament shows, and it'll be interesting to see where we go. Paulie is a great broadcaster, a great commentator. I think Ben Shalom's very keen on him. I think he's going to be doing some stuff for boxers. So let's see what happens as the weeks, fights, and months go ahead. But no question that Paulie Malignaggi is an unbelievable broadcaster, and every time I commentate with him, I love it.
Okay, Adam Smith, appreciate 20 minutes of your time on IFL TV today. All the best with your thing with Groves and Froch, the tour.
Oh yeah, no, I've sort of roped me in for one of them, so that's I'm really looking forward to it, actually, because obviously that was a fantastic experience, that whole Froch and Groves story, from beginning to end, and also going with Carl to Vegas and him not wanting to go and speak to George afterwards, and George commentating for one channel and Carl on another, and then eventually we got them together, and I'll tell that story on the night in Shrewsbury. But yeah, it's great. I know they've been doing the tour for a while now, and I think they wanted me to sort of go and anyway, it's a bit of a guest appearance. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun.
I bet it will be. All right, Adam, appreciate your time. Cheers. We'll see you on Fight Week. All right.
Thanks.